From Park Place in Reveille. I'm from Reveille Park. And around like when I was 7 years old, I seen my mom overdose in front of me on cocaine. My dad was a drug addict, never in my life. I was raised by my grandma. My grandma only speaks Spanish, like being Mexican and then being Mexican American is two different
I
things.
guess I totally agree with you.
It's a different culture. I didn't understand nothing my grandma was saying.
Yeah.
So I had no choice but to see what's around in the streets. And people say that people from the underserved community or the hoods, the ghettos, that we're not underserved, that we have the same privilege and opportunities as anybody else. I'm here to detest that fact. Due to the simple fact, if you get a hot cup of coffee, you set it in a room, eventually it becomes room temperature. We become products of our environment. We're not criminals, we're victims of circumstance. We never committed a crime that we didn't have to do. We're not allowed the same privileges and opportunity because the environment we're around. All we do is see stealing, we see robbing, killing, pimping, and we think this is okay in our mind. So if you get a kid that don't know nothing else and they think this is okay because everybody else is doing it, we think this is right in our society. So growing up in the hood, this is all I seen. This is all I knew.
So we think it's the norm.
It-
Like I
it-
was speaking to a friend, and I told him how I grew up and how he grew up. Same thing. He grew up in Gulf Gate area too, and I grew up out here also here in Southeast myself. Gulf Gate, Southeast, Pasadena, GP, single mom, same
Yes.
story. But way I grew up and everything I saw, I thought there was nothing different about that. Like you're saying, man.
Yeah, and it's like it's disheartening because the educational system, it has failed our children today. I'm a product of the system failing me. The system failed me, but I'm not gonna make an excuse about it. When I was 17 years old, I ended up shooting somebody in the head. I actually went to prison for 2 aggravated robberies and an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I did 10 and a half years in prison. I'm still on parole to this day, but it took me to go in a concrete tomb of my own demise to actually awaken and find myself, to realize that there's more to life than just a box. It took me, honestly, my awakening moment was when I had a judge named Mark Ken Ellis. He told me I was unfit for society, I was unfit for the world. And I remember the way he looked at me. And I took all that pain. I thrived off pain. I thrived off the hate. Everything I felt in that moment to say I'm going to educate myself. And guess what? I'm going to show the world. So I went to prison and I studied individuals like Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, Rodolfo Corky Gonzalez, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Hitler, individuals that try to conquer the world or revolutionize the way humanity thinks, and incorporate it in my life because I was full of pain. Because I
Do you have
didn't,
hate or just pain?
I have hate and pain. I have hate towards the system because I don't believe that there's no injustice committed against me and the injustices I committed against society. I believe that the system needs to offer more resources, a better way so that we can rise above our current situation, set ourselves on the higher plane of understanding and break the chains of oppression. So going in prison, the pain and the hate is what drove me to change my way of thinking, to say, hey, no, I'm going to make a change, even if I have to live and die for a belief greater than myself, that no kid, no child, no ghetto baby has to experience the pain or trials and tribulations that I have felt. So it's all came through education and self-education at that.
I did a lot of self-education. I have crazy people think is I graduated from school, I graduated from college because of, the way I've dressed and the way I've hold myself since, graduating off graduating off the streets and getting into a career in the auto industry. And been blessed to have mentors above me, but my vocabulary was horrendous. My knowledge of politics, my knowledge of just anything we're talking about was nothing that my clients want to hear. So I had to self-educate myself also to get civilized
Yes.
in the society that's normal, that's considered a norm. The society that has the parents and the kids graduating, white picket fence, and that's kind of on the other side of our hill, I would say. And so I had to do the same thing as you, is actually self-educate myself, our vocabulary, I think, is really important on how we speak, and it holds us to a different level. I mean, you're very articulate when you speak, which is like I told you, like I told you earlier, I've seen you come up on
Yes.
social media. So now, I get out of, you did your 10 and a half years in prison. When you got out, what was like a spark or got you sparked out to get you? Because again, this is chasing our dreams. So now you're chasing your dreams right now.
Yes.
Currently as we speak now, what influenced you to get into the next level of what you're doing? Period. Like right out of prison, what did you like? What inspired you? What pulled you to do what you're doing? Because you're a big influencer, and that's what and also a pillar to the community too. Now,
Yeah. So like what actually drove me, it was always the pain. It was always the hate. It was everything that I felt when I came home. And just like reintegrating back into society, there was a lot of trials and tribulations. But I always stayed focused. One thing I knew, I don't know if you're familiar with Malcolm X. He says, if you see somebody with something you don't got, that means they're doing something you're not. I said, what are these corporations doing that I'm not doing? What are these entrepreneurs, business owners doing that I'm not doing? So I took time to study everybody out here. And the first one that popped in mind was McDonald's. It says, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. And that's where check game was originated.
Okay.
Check game, check game, check game, check game. Because guess what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Now it's a catchphrase. It stays in the people's mind where people are going to be like, man, who you keep saying check game?
yeah. My wife last night after dinner, she's like, you came out here. He comes out and promotes businesses also as a promotion. So this is how I'm lucky to have Anthony and I'm here at the office to do this interview with me. I cornered him in.
Yes.
So that's exactly my wife saying, check game, just like this.
Yes.
And for my wife's not a big person like always on social media, like looking at different contents. Her content's looking at dogs and shoes, but she peeped yours, and then all of a sudden it's been in her head. Check game, check game.
Check game.
And last night we were messing with it, so I was like, we were talking about how we're gonna do the skit today, and so like you said, I mean, you did a great job doing that, man. Like that's right.
And it was just branding myself, understanding, okay, McDonald's branded themselves like this. How am I gonna brand myself? What actually made me like blow up, I actually came home from prison. I joined a barber college called Northwest Educational Center. So I was cutting hair, trying to make money, and it was back to school. And I know how it feels not to be able to have money to get a haircut, my family not to have money. So I went on social media. I'm doing free haircuts for the kids that are less fortunate. And Grizzy from the Hood News went live with me.
Yeah.
She went live with me. She blasted me, and she
Showed love.
she showed me so much love, and I think that's what put the fire on the gasoline, and from there it's been crazy.
A big shout out to Grizzly Hood News, man, for getting you on the map, brother. That's awesome, man.
And
So on the business side of it, let's jump into the business side of it, because when I reached out to Anthony, he has a contract to sign whenever you want to move forward with him. He has a true structure of a business. I've dealt with other influencers, and they were nowhere on this level. They were just like, shoot me a number. He had his numbers right. He had a contract ready to move forward with, to sign off on. What gave you that? I mean, that's on that next level, brother. And we're talking about LLCs and business now. And
on the next level, honestly, like my best friend is Chat GPT.
yes,
It's gonna tell me everything, and knowledge is power. Just like educating yourself, TikToks. But you can't believe everything TikTok says,
I agree.
because everybody has a product they want to sell. They're gonna tell you, yeah, we could do it this way, but buy my product first, $75.
Yeah.
And people buy it, and then it's the same thing you would have got from Chat GPT.
Yeah. Okay. That's a jailbreak right there. Chat GPT. I use it a lot.
Yeah, that's my best friend.
It helps me make my content. It helps me. I can ask it questions that I need to know, and I have it, and I double check it, and it's right. But yeah, that's definitely a jailbreak right there of doing business. But what gave you the idea to get these contracts? Like
when it came to Illuminating Solutions, I just wanted to be a marketing consultant, because marketing consultant is less impact, and the banks will give you more business credit. That's why I looked at, because people say, oh, I want to be a real estate agent, I want to do real estate. But the banks are not going to give you that much money when it comes to business credit. They're not going to give you that $50,000 loan, that $100,000 loan, because it's a risk business. But a marketing consultant, it's not at risk. So that's what my knowledge and my research told me. Okay, this is how I'm going to open up Illuminating Solutions as a marketing consultant. Not as a barber. I was cutting hair at the time.
Right.
I was making good money cutting hair. As a barber, if you make $278 a day for 365 days, it's $100,000 in a year. I was thinking short things, and then I'm like, I need to do bigger. I need more. But then just like saying something positive, just talking throughout the day as a form of expression blew up on social media, and me doing community events started everything else where I started getting paid to promote. I don't even cut hair no more because I don't need to.
So you're a walking billboard, brother. You're a walking billboard marketing guru right now in your industry, in the industry, period. Because what I've been taught in my industry, right, in my business, which if you want to take your business to the next level, is you've got to collaborate with gentlemen like Anthony. We've collaborated with other people in the past that come out here, but this is kind of, if you want to get successful, is you've got to be seen, and who is better to be seen for your business. So we have a business with multiple streams of multiple companies, and we market certain things, but we know here is influencers will be the fastest way to get you out there on social media. Of course, we do sponsor ads, but if we can collab with gentlemen like Anthony, then we're gonna go to the next level. So
Yes.
we've that's why we're here again with Anthony and other people who come to our office. What do you let's go with another question if you don't mind, man.
on with
Because I know you ain't got time for me right now. You gotta get to work. But what adversity learning what you're learning this past year, what has hit you hard and you had to learn how to overcome that obstacle? Just one for now, whether it was, dealing with somebody or dealing with money matters and you have to get out of that. Like, what adversity? I know you just got out of prison. That's a major adversity, but now you're not letting that hold you back, and now you're going to the next level. So right now, learning your business that you've been learning, because you're learning right now. Mm-hmm. I'm still learning. We all learn. So we always have that one little hiccup, and then how did you say, hey, I'm not gonna let this bother me, this is what I did to fix it?
So one thing I could say, the biggest adversity I had to come to realize that understand your position in life. You can't feel like you're worth $1 million, but you're out there in the hood with people that get nickels and dimes. You can't accept all disrespect. If I'm up here on the top and I allow a peasant to disrespect me and I go down to their level and disrespect him back, I'm no better than the peasant.
That is good. That's good.
To understand my position, my place. At the end of the day, you're not on my level. Disrespect me, talk about me, say I changed up on the hood because I'm making money. I don't chill in the hood. I'm not out partying. I'm not out drinking. I'm not doing this. No, at the end of the day, I know my position. I know my place. And understanding it's about patience. Sometimes you're going to have to struggle. Sometimes you're going to have to make sacrifices. But them sacrifices are an investment because it's going to bring a better return. If I save up, it's going to bring a return. If I invest, it's going to bring a return. It's just how you sacrifice. Them little sacrifices and being patient. It's not like the streets where I go move some dope, and guess what? I get an instant return. No, it's time, preparation, and it's 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Just strategizing, being strategic, tactical, and seizing your moment because it's your moment. And it took me to realize, like, I just have to embrace my moment. I have to be patient and I have to know my position. I can't keep cussing everybody out, trying to fight.
Right.
I can't turn up because that's not my position. I wear a suit to go to work.
Yeah.
I'm not in the streets. I'm not on the block. I have to know my position. And even though I'll be like, check game, I'm a real gangster. Right. I'm a gangster, but I'm revolutionary.
Exactly.
I'm not here killing people. I'm not here robbing people. I'm not here selling dope. No, I'm being that role model. Like I was saying earlier, you have in our hoods people robbing, stealing, killing. And those are gangsters in the hood.
No.
And these are the people
we looked up to them.
We look up to them.
I did.
And guess what? I'm saying I'm a gangster. I wear a suit. I work. I take care of my family.
You're using it as an action now, right? You're actually basically, I'm so gangster. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's real gangster, right? You're taking care of your family. That's real gangster.
Yes.
And what you're doing is you're relating to our community by being able to.
Exactly.
Because like when in the church, so I'm a Christian, right? And for us to relate to the youth, we have hip hop artists that come out to our communities and they rap, but that's another, so we can
It's another
bridge the gap.
It's the bridge the gap, exactly. And a lot of people don't understand that perspective. When I first started coming out, I was dealt with a lot of backlash, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And I say, it's not for you. It's not for everybody. They're like, you're gonna close a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities. People ain't gonna wanna work with you because you're saying gangster this, gangster that. It's not for you.
Is that true? Is that true? Nobody wants to work with you?
Nah, I opened so many doors. I opened so many doors, and I rub shoulders with politicians,
Yes.
council members, so many people. I've been awarded so many things, and people are like, how's he doing it? No, because I'm authentic. An intellectual individual is going to understand what I'm saying, but the people below me, they're never going to understand it, or it's out of envy and hate because they're like, why is he doing what he's doing? My mission in life is to revolutionize the word gangster, to attack these fake OGs that say I'm G'd up and giving the game wrong to the youth, having them rob, kill, steal, do that, and show, guess what? I'm just as gangster as you. I'm really about that, but guess what? This is how we do it. We're gonna teach our youth LLCs, DBAs. We got plans for the future where we could help them establish themselves. Everybody talks about revolution and establishing power. Where does power come? How could you say you're the king of the hood if you don't own one piece of property in the hood?
It ain't even yours because you ain't got no property owned on it.
Exactly. So you can't say you're the king of the hood. So all these people fighting over blocks that you don't own one real estate in, hey, they can move around with that. Right now, we're trying to teach the kids how to own the hood legit, how to say, hey, we really own the hood.
So growing up, we're gonna, I guess, get a little deeper quick. So I've noticed as men, right, the way you grew up, the way I grew up, my friends all grew up all the same way, and we didn't start honestly, our gang wasn't really it was a gang. The gang that I was in was a real gang, but it was brothers, and but we saw our big OGs hanging out doing the same thing, so we emulated them.
Yes.
And I was blessed not to go to prison. I was extremely blessed not to go to prison, but we're seeking men as men, we're always seeking brotherhood.
Yes.
And wherever we can get that love, then that's what we turn to. Not because we had an event in our area, I couldn't find any baseball people, football people to come up to the event to talk to the youth, saying that, hey, we have programs here in Southeast. There's not programs here in Southeast. Very minimal programs for the youth here. So what do? They go to the park. They play ball. Who's hanging at the park? The dope boys are hanging out. They're seeing their money. There's not really them to tell them, hey, they think that they're actually doing right with them by, hey, I'm gonna put you to work. They're doing that because you ain't gonna get in trouble. I'm not gonna get in trouble. I'm putting it on you, youngster. And that's how I got, how I got into it. To where can we have somebody like you in the community at these events, educating them and making them want to follow you instead?
Yes.
And that's what I see.
And that's what I do all the time. Like every day I'm working, every day I'm marketing, and believe it or not, like the majority of my following, they're kids, 18, 19 years old. I go anywhere, they be like, check game. They come up to me, I'm like,
That's
I'm
awesome,
like
man.
really famous.
Yeah.
Like I can't go to Walmart. Walmart, I'm like, sometimes I think like, man, one of these days I'm gonna run across someone that's really hating on me I'm gonna have to hurt.
Yeah.
Because it gets so bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how far my voice was stretching.
Right.
How much of an impact I was giving the community. How much light I was showing people because they understood my story. And then it made me realize that, man, I have a gift. God is guiding me for his purpose, not my purpose.
And I'm glad you're going there because that's my next question with you right there.
And it's for his purpose. And I'm like, I finally understood it. It's like, you grew up in the Southeast, so you know the Jehovah's Witnesses be in the streets.
Yeah.
And when we were younger, we'd be like, man, move around. We ain't trying to hear that shit.
We would chase them on their bikes, man. I'm so mean.
But I realized that, guess what? The youth, they'll relate to me because how I look. I got the grills,
Right.
the tattoos, and I talk their lingo. And I'm not here preaching the gospel, but at the end of the day, I'm preaching, hey, that you're better than the situation you find yourself in.
So that's gonna. I don't want to cut you off, but that's going to the next question. Guys, I need more time with this man. but I'm just trying to keep it short because he's about to bounce. So, and I want to get these just the two more questions in. So my next question, Anthony, is how has God played a role in your success so far? Or has he, or do you see him playing a role in your success?
Man, I feel like I'm Jonah. You're familiar with the
Yes.
Jonah from the Bible? Jonah goes in the well. He tries to run from God. I be feeling like I try to run from God all the time. Like I stay away from church. Like I try not to believe in church. I have a different perspective on the biblical text, but it's like anything I do, he always guides me back to people that's in the church or people that's gonna like when I'm going off, it's always someone from church. It's like God speaks through them, like get back on board, get on your mission. And I want to go have fun sometimes, and that's not your purpose. And I think God's been there with me every step of the way, even when I wasn't there with Him. He was always there with me. He has been using me for His purpose at every single moment. And sometimes He humbles me a little bit, and when I'm too prideful, He shows me I could take everything away.
Yeah, real quick.
And He has. He took. There was one time he took over 100,000 from me. I was so sick. But guess what? He showed me. Guess what? You weren't ready for it then. But now, come on, and I made more money than I ever did. And I'm like, I've been blessed coming home, but all the blessings I've been allowed to get, I've been allowed to give to other individuals. And I say He played the biggest role in my life. So I give Him all the praise. I give Him all the glory. And
Amen.
wherever He's calling me, I'm listening. I don't ask for too much because I know He's going to provide. Like it's like Abraham when he was going to sacrifice his son, and he's like, the Lord's going to provide. And just walking by faith, not by sight, understanding that He is going to provide. Even when it gets hard, even when I feel like I'm finna break, man, He's going to provide. And it's the test to refine you, to build you, to make you into that sword that He needs.
It's beautiful, man. That's all true, all true. Without God, we're nothing. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. How many people want to have Anthony come back onto Chasing Our Dreams YouTube channel? Because we can get more deep, and he's very educated. There's a lot of facts I want to get out of him, but I don't ever like to close out our show without asking our fellow dream chasers, what is your advice to people out there either starting to be an actor, just chasing their dreams? Whether they're opening a business, whether they're trying to become an influencer, like what is your advice to them?
Okay, so look, check game. One thing a real gangster knows, the bigger the risk, the greater the reward. Scary money don't make no money. In this realm of existence, where every action there's a reaction, there's a cause and effect. So that means you have to have actions. In the biblical text, it says faith without actions is dead. You can have all the faith in the world, but if you ain't doing it, it ain't gonna happen. Everybody expects God to give them something. They're praying, God, give me this. No, you gotta get up and go do it. Stay consistent. Embrace the struggle because it's your struggle, it's your story, and don't listen to what anybody says. People are gonna try to hate on you, try to bring you down. My advice is, man, hey, keep moving, keep rocking, keep striving, and you're gonna achieve. It might not happen today, it might not happen 2 years from now, but as long as you're consistent, I promise you it's gonna happen.
All right, guys, Mr. Anthony Sanchez, Mr. Check Game.
Check game.
Hey guys, love y'all. Again, let us know. Any other questions y'all have for him, I'll relate to him. You're gonna get all his details for his, how to follow him and everything like that. So y'all be blessed.